Hello from North Carolina. This is our 6th live session. Our plan is still to go live every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to share industry news from the previous week. I am tuning in from North Carolina. It is chilly here. I've got my coziest sweater on, and I'm feeling a little sassy, so I put a little red lipstick on too. Please, if you are joining us live, please drop a comment below so that we know that you are here. If you are team replay, please also feel free to drop comments as you are listening to the replay. Man, so much to cover today. It looks like maybe I just got a little error message here. Looks like we're having some trouble with LinkedIn, but that's okay. I'm going to keep going because guess what? We're still going to be live. We're still going to be live on YouTube. In any case, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Rosalinda Cruz. I'm the founder and Chief Business Development Officer for the Rosa Collective, where we help underrepresented leaders in fashion with strategic planning, advising, and our mission is really to support a more diverse and inclusive, sustainable fashion industry, and we do that by filling in the leadership and ownership gaps in the apparel supply chain. So on these lives, one of the things that I always try to do is kind of reconcile my love for fashion and retail with my values around sustainability, diversity, and inclusion. And I'm always advocating for supply change and trying to raise buyer awareness. So in our time together, I've kind of broken it down and put together a rough agenda because those of you who know me know that I love a good agenda. But I like to touch on North Carolina news, what's sort of happening here, because North Carolina is, for those of you who don't know, I think it's still actually the largest textile producing state in the US. But aside from that, it is where an entrepreneurial epicenter. We have Research Triangle Park, which is just a few minutes away, which is the largest tech hub outside of Silicon Valley. So there's always really, really great stuff happening here. So back to the agenda. North Carolina news, product, service, workforce, any epiphanies, and then the green carpet. This is a new segment that I actually added a couple of weeks ago, but I feel like I wanted to be able to have a space to call out really brands, concept ideas that are being called to the proverbial carpet, the green carpet, since we're talking about sustainability here. And another thing that I like to do is really touch on any industry news that doesn't necessarily fall into that category. So if you guys are interested in the show notes, please visit our website at aceworkcollective.com. I will definitely be giving a lot of information, and I think that the show notes are definitely the best way to capture all of that information. And also, if you're interested in getting any other industry news, sign up for our newsletter. I'm actually getting ready to release a newsletter today. Believe it. So anyways, let's get to it. In North Carolina news, not a lot happening, but We have Vice President Kamala Harris and Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg are going to be in North Carolina to discuss the newly passed infrastructure bill. So I know that people in North Carolina are super excited about that and excited about the change that's going to come about as a result of that infrastructure bill. So yay. In industry news, and my heart just got heavy thinking about this. And my voice is cracking. Oh my goodness, I didn't even know that I was going to get this emotional. But unfortunately, on Sunday, Virgil Abloh passed away. Virgil is a legend and just an incredible man. I did not know him personally, but I was a huge fan of his. He was the menswear designer for Louis Vuitton. He also worked really closely with Kanye West. On Yeezy. He was an intern at Fendi, and he was a kid from Chicago who made it from the top, made it to the top. One thing that I also always admired about Virgil was his ability to give. And one of the things that I actually wanted to plug here and actually always share with my clients is he actually created a resource center for brands who are in early stages of development. And that resource center is called Free Game. And he covers so much stuff in that website. So I definitely suggest if you are new to the apparel industry, go and check it out. He talks about how to name your brand, obtain trademarks, using Adobe Creative Suites, how to shoot a lookbook. I mean, the list goes on and on. So I just wanted to take a moment and acknowledge him. Obviously, I'm connected to the fashion industry, so my feed has been jammed with tributes to him, and I look forward to reading those. And in other industry news, the workshop at Macy's today is the deadline, November 30th. It was originally, I believe, November 15th, and that deadline was extended. For those of you who don't know, the workshop at Macy's is the industry's longest running diverse retail development program. They're celebrating their 10th year, and it is a really great program. So please, if you haven't gotten your applications in, please do. Moving on to product news. Wool is unsustainable and why questioning that is misguided. That is a series that Fibershed is actually just launched. I just saw it last week in my feed, and when I saw it, they were actually announcing the second series. Or the second part of that series. And when I saw that headline, I was like, oh, come on. But then, you know, I kind of hushed myself. But I mean, we all know that the most sustainable, right, apparel is the one that's already in our wardrobe. Anything beyond that is unsustainable. And I feel like there are, you know, while I am a huge advocate for the climate and the environment, I feel like there are a lot of other issues that need to be brought to light as well. So again, if you're interested in more information on that, check out Fibershed's series on that. Cotton harvest. So here in North Carolina, the cotton harvest actually takes place from mid-October to early November. And our harvest season was a couple of weeks ago. So our cotton here in North Carolina, which is upland cotton, is actually in the ginning stage of the process. I actually released a little video last week. So if you're interested in learning a little bit more about that, go check out that video. And similar news, I wish I could remember whose post I saw this on. But I saw somebody referencing this on LinkedIn, and I thought that this was important to call out, especially as we were talking about harvest. But Black Americans amass 15 million acres of land in the US between 1865 and 1919. And today, 97% of those lands have been lost, according to the Land Trust Alliance. So I think that that is an important statistic to call out. There is still a lot of work being done around that, and I will definitely be sure to amplify the work that those organizations are doing. And if I can be of support in any other way, I would be happy to. Other thing that I wanted to talk about in terms of product is that this year I have noticed that there have been some really, really great gift guides coming out. Gift guides that are focusing on I don't know, just thinking about gift giving differently. I know that last week I talked about clutter-free gifts and giving gifts of experience and that sort of thing. But one of the things that I saw this week that was really nice and I thought was perfect was the gift of meditative art. What? I hadn't even thought about that, but I also was thinking about some of the hobbies that I actually engage in, and it's meditative art, mending, knitting, sewing. I love, I just got into sewing and into mending, and I have found it to be the perfect way to quiet my brain. And we have some great small businesses around here that offer some incredible online classes. So when you're thinking about gifts, think about meditative art and giving that gift. There has also been, I got to take a sip of my water, getting thirsty. Okay. In gift guide news, there has also been a lot of emphasis around buy better, right? So don't buy where you wouldn't be hired, or where they follow you around, or where you would be paid minimum wage, or you know, or the list goes on, right? So I actually, and I'm going to go into this a little bit deeper, but in in the green carpet segment, there is a naughty and nice list going around. And I thought that that was also really interesting and a clever way to, again, raise buyer awareness, because I think that for those people who are in the industry, they are well aware of the things that happen, the good, bad, and the ugly. But as consumers, I don't think that there is a lot of that same awareness. So these naughty and nice lists, I think, are great ways to raise buyer awareness. In service news, I have also been seeing a lot of news just around how people are shopping differently. I know that people have been shopping differently. I personally have been feeling super nostalgic about what shopping used to look like and how things have changed over the years. I actually, the newsletter that I'm releasing this afternoon, is it this afternoon? Sometime today, is going to talk about the evolution of department stores. And in doing my research, I came across the work of Jan Whitaker, who is a department store historian. Who knew that was a thing? And no offense if other people know it. I'm just like baffled by the fact that I have been in the industry for 30 years and I know a lot of stuff, but there's still a tremendous amount of things that I don't know. So that's one thing that always excites me about the industry, is this constant learning that happens. But in any case, Jan Whitaker, turns out she actually lives in Massachusetts and the town that I was born in. So I am looking forward to connecting with her on a deeper level. But in reading about the history of department stores, I believe it was her who actually said that department stores are little dream factories, and I thought that that was really sweet. But one of the things that I feel like has been lost is the razzle dazzle. Nobody's really getting razzle dazzled anymore, and I think that that's what customers are really looking for, especially after what last holiday season looked like. People are really emerging and craving connection and community. It's interesting because I referenced a study about Zennials and what their shopping patterns are, and how not just them but most people do their research online, but they actually go to the stores to make their purchases. And I believe I got a little statistic here about that. Yeah, so according to Shopify, 80% of retail sales are made in store. And that's because customers are looking for engaging physical experiences. Like I said, the journey often starts online when they're doing their research, but it oftentimes ends in stores 80% of the time. There was something else that I wanted to say about that, but I'm going to keep it moving. Another interesting thing in cosmetics, it's not necessarily fashion; it's more beauty, but Lush actually just announced that they are getting rid of their social media, and they are doing this just as a response to the impact that social media has on teens' mental health and the harm that it does. So bravo to them. They are projected to lose $13 million as in sales as a result of that. And they're still doing it. They're still doing it. So yay for them. In workforce news, oh, I just realized that I hadn't even checked to see if there are any comments here. In workforce news, I don't know if anybody else heard about this big protest from Amazon. So Amazon workers in 20 countries were protesting, and their goal was really to block 50% of Amazon's Black Friday sales. So that was interesting. I'm actually looking forward to seeing more about what the results of that protest was. And in other news, also unemployment in the U.S. Filings was at the lowest levels in 50 years. So I thought that was incredible. What else? Oh, epiphanies. So in epiphanies, there was a report written by the GFA and McKinsey that concludes that the fashion industry could become 80% circular by 2030 if there is an increased investment in existing recycling technologies. So I thought that was interesting and thought I'd share that with you. All right, so now we are at the green carpet. I can't believe it. I've been talking for 20 minutes already. So the green carpet is really where I take a deeper dive and talk about brands, concepts, and processes that are being called again to the proverbial carpet, the green carpet in this case, since we're talking about sustainability. And I actually just commented on on somebody's post yesterday about this, but Pull Up for Change. Pull Up for Change is an organization. I believe they came about, or actually, when I look at their social media, their first posts were around the time that the Black Lives Matter movement started. And one of the things that they were doing was calling brands out, right? Because there was a lot of like performative allyship that was taking place. I think that people were posting the black squares in order to beat the algorithm and try and be relevant. And one of the things that they were doing was actually calling people out and really asking tough questions about what diversity and inclusion actually look like within their organization. And as a result of that, a lot of brands were releasing diversity reports. I think that it's called something different depending on what the company is, but I feel like we need more of that. I was always excited to see when brands did release the information, and just being honest about where they currently are and where they would like to be. But I feel like we need to apply pressure and get some more information and get some updates, right, on where some of these brands are now. I don't think that this work should be swept under the rug at all. I think that it needs to be kept top of mind, and again, give them a follow on social media to get information regarding that. I also wanted to give a little clap for Tommy Hilfiger and PVH. They are actually matching donations for the fashion and race database, which I talked about a couple of weeks ago. But they are matching donations up to $20,000. Again, if you sign up for the show notes, I can share that information with you. And now we're at the naughty and nice list. So, the Garment Worker Center is calling brands out, and last week they released a naughty and nice list. And essentially, the people who are on the naughty list, which I was surprised there was only saw about 6 of them, but so it was nice to see that the naughty list was shorter than the nice list. But essentially, they're calling out brands who consistently engage in wage theft and other unjust labor practices. And again, I think that we should be doing more of this. There are, brands on that naughty list that I stopped supporting a long time ago. And when I hear of people who are supporting them, I kindly educate them on some of their business practices and let them make an informed choice on whether or not they want to continue supporting that business, or if they want to put their money elsewhere. Oh man, I told you it was a biggie. A biggie. We went through a lot of information. And we are almost out of time here. So thank you everybody who joined us live, and also thank you to Team Replay, those who will be joining us through the replay. If you guys have any questions, or are interested in suggesting topics, please email us at info@aceworkcollective.com. Announcements. I did talk about, I'm releasing newsletter later today, where I talk about the evolution of department stores, actually specifically New England department store Steigers, which was a small family-owned department store in New England where I got started. I actually started as a holiday gift wrapper many years ago. And so I think that's actually why I feel nostalgic, because anyways. Um, Also, a new workshop. So I announced a few weeks ago that I am offering a workshop in December. Um, uh, two sessions. The doors have closed actually on the first session, which is this Thursday, but there are still seats available in the second session. This workshop is really focused on 2022 planning, easy next step to scale your business. So it is a 60-minute workshop where you'll learn the steps that you need to take to scale your business in 2022. And we are going to cover mindset shifts, talk about setting a strategic objective, setting and exceeding revenue goals, key industry happenings, identifying patterns in your businesses, and best practices. Workshop materials include a 2022 leadership planner, which has a business development calendar, and a 2022 planning calendar. So it is a big win. Please sign up for that. Again, over the holidays, I am going to continue digging into the following topics, but again, the evolution of department stores and its impact on how we shop, regional markets and family-owned businesses, quality over quantity and how loved clothes last, clutter-free gifts, how to support small business. And again, our mission is to support a more diverse and inclusive, sustainable fashion industry by filling in the leadership and ownership gaps in the apparel supply chain. So, and I said supply chain, which is actually what we're striving for. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to drop a comment below or email us at info@asorcollective.com. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks, everybody. Bye.